Hey everyone, it's Tommy from the Goalie Crease Network, and today I'm actually doing a little bit of an update to a previous review. So this is the Promasque XDK, and if you remember back from that review, it's an ultra protective mask that's a little bit on the heavy side, but you know, there's not a whole lot of give to it. It's worn in the NHL by multiple goalies, so you know it's an extremely protective mask. I really enjoy this mask, and especially the sight lines. You can see here, this is a cheater cage. And I'm not really used to a cheater cage, and yet it really wasn't that difficult to get used to. And I haven't even switched it out for my usual cat eye. So it's an extremely good cage and extremely protective mask. So I wanted to go ahead and get it painted, and fortunately it came out extremely good. So I want to talk a little bit about the process and then how it came out. So first I wanted to talk a little bit about the process. So what I did was I ended up sending Matt Garland, who is the president of Promasque, a drawing of what I wanted. And what I did was I based this off of Patrick O'Leam's mask when he was in Pittsburgh. So I always liked Patrick O'Leam, and I really liked that mask. So I kind of wanted a couple influences, but then I also wanted to make it, you know, Goalie Crease Network. And that way I can bring this to shows and show off just how cool this mask and their paint jobs are. So what I did was I sent him, you know, it was sort of a rudimentary drawing. I'm a terrible drawer. So he was able to take that, and what he's really good at doing is really infusing some great creativity there. And you see that on other goalies' masks in the NHL, like Rolison and Hutton, who's now for the Nashville Predators. You know, Hutton just goes to Matt and says, hey, put whatever you want on it. And that's how much he trusts his creative process. So it worked out really well. Now, for me, I tend to be a little bit of a stickler on what I want. And one thing about Matt is he is always going to infuse his creativity in there at the same time. So if you want a mask exactly the way you want, you know, what I would suggest doing is go ahead and go with Matt's creativity and his creative direction, because it's going to come out fantastic just like this one did. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of show you the different aspects of this mask. And I might, you know, zoom in on a couple points, but for the most part I'm going to stay out here so you guys can see the entire concept of the mask. So you can see here it is very much influenced by Patrick O'Leam. You know, with that open design up here, he had, you know, penguin eyes and a little bit of a beak. He had the opening down there and some openings on the sides. And what I want to do is infuse, you know, a little bit of sort of a monster that's a little bit scary. So here we have the monster fingers and the Goalie Crease logo, and of course my name on the back, and we have my number on the front. So what he really did was, you know, I kind of had this rudimentary design, and honestly it wasn't that great. And so what he did was he, you know, put in these awesome lines and these great textures. And I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this on the camera or not, but there are just incredible textures here on the nails where you can see it sort of gives it a living and breathing, you know, aspect to it. So it's very interesting. Another part I really like is here on the eyes. You know, they're bloodshot. It's getting kind of angry there. You know, there's a little bit of a nose. You're not quite sure what kind of a monster this is, and that's what I wanted too. You're not really sure. You know, is this an abominable snowman? Is this some sort of a snow creature that we've never heard of before? So it's kind of interesting. And at this side, it's a little bit different than that other side. So we see here, there's some texture here with the nails. You know, one of the nails is broken. And we can see that another nail down here is broken. So we get these new kind of textures. So it's not just a really flat design, it's a really innovative and really different design that sort of gives it that lifelike feel. Now this is the back of the mask, of course, and it has my last name, and we kind of get this hair effect and this 3D effect here. So that's really cool that it pops out really well. Now, I want to emphasize again, Matt and his team are going to take some creative liberties, and that is perfectly fine. Just like I said before, Hutton just says, hey, give me a mask and paint it up however you want. And he's very happy with it. Another thing too is when I was talking with Matt about the creative process that they employ, he's actually only had one mask come back to him in all of his years for a new paint job. And that was a person who demanded the paint job be exactly the way they wanted it. And so when Matt got it back and they did some changes to it, the customer was extremely happy with it. So that just goes to show that the creative process that Matt and his team employ really is successful. So I not only recommend the Promasque XDK in and of itself, it's a fantastic mask, but I also recommend, having Matt and his team go ahead and employ their creative process and get a fantastic mask painted at the same time. That way, you're killing two birds with one stone, and you're getting a fantastic mask that looks like this. So, enjoy. I hope I see you around the forum, and we'll see you there.